Welcome back. We jump straight up into Champion Select. Do or die for Vanir.
I mean, it's kind of die early or potentially die later for Vanir at this point too, because even if you snatch back a game, now it has to be a reverse sweep. It's so difficult to do that in a best of 5 scenario. Now there is a big thing about
I've
seen it so many times before. There is a big psychological advantage to getting that game after those two go down, right? Because there's the momentum of the series which can be played around, but still, but you don't even have a start of a blueprint to work on. It's very hard to even clutch at straws for what Vanir have managed to come out with. Now Vanir have chosen blue side again. I don't even know which game was more crushing, though. The one there on blue side or the one that was on red side. The first game was like, is it a blue side issue? Apparently not.
I think you first pick the Rise here. If it stays open, you first pick the Rise. It's Sahira's best champion by far. You have to lock it in. I think if there was a slight glimpse of light in the entire series, in the entire 2 games, I think that was Sahira on his Rise. It's his most played champion. It's his best champion by far. You lock it in right here. You give Dusty the choice of ADC in this place. You let them play the ADC, you completely ignore bot lane, you go for an Ezreal or something, and you just choose a support that together with Sahira's Rise can roam around together with Noodle, try to shut down Viking, try to shut down the top side of the map, because bot side is clearly getting gapped. Abandon ship, Captain.
The question is, you know, what can actually survive through a strong bot lane that Dusty picked towards? Because again, they could lock in an Aphelios, they can lock in a support in this first rotation, or like the first 3 picks as well. And then they ban out stuff which could potentially be problematic and leave themselves with an ability to absolutely demolish your bot lane. What happens if they pick a Tristana in a lane where you can't wave clear against it and you get your tower shredded?
That's problematic.
What happens with that? You know, so as much as say abandon bot lane, how do you abandon it safely at the same time?
You don't. That's why you put the Ezreal. It's the safest champion you can ever have.
It is a race between your strong side versus their strong side, and you just hope to all that is holy.
Oh, you definitely play Ezreal.
Nile and Sahira can really start things rolling because they haven't been managing to stop that bot lane so far.
Okay, hear me out. You could also go... Yeah, do it.
He predicted.
Okay, it's the Hobbit.
There you
now,
go.
The question is, what do you link this up with? Do you future? Because you can go for the Karma. This is something which I was suggesting, right? Because you can lock in, just say, look, dominant 2v2, very little contest push against something like Ezreal Karma. Now, you can fight against an Ezreal Karma, and that's a problem because Rel is really good at fighting. And Karma can't stop you crashing down. Now, that's going to be a big problem if you lock in against something like a Triss, something like the Samira is also not bad here either. Of course, you can leave that till later. The question is if Vanir want to, well, whether they can ban away enough AD carries that Venza will not be a threat. Either way, locking in Ezreal Karma against Rel is risky.
Also, if I may, you can also keep it as a flex. We saw Kex play it
that's
to
true.
the map
That's
with
true.
Grasp.
Yeah.
You can definitely play it into the Aatrox. You can definitely play it on into any melee champions that A-Leaf plays and stay relatively safe as well. And then later on, you've got your Moonstone, you've got a bunch of damage as well. You become a second support to your team. I don't mind this. If they feel like the lane is too dangerous for a Karma to be in, you just swap her onto the top side of the map and you go on about your life. I just really like what Vanir has so far. They really needed a confidence boost. I think Kev on his Ezreal, Sahira on his Rise is very important because we mentioned like mentally it's not the best position to be in, the 0-2, knowing that one more game is all that differentiates
Backs
you
against the wall.
And going back to your house, right? So just play your best champions and hope for the best.
It's a Samira ban. They're looking into the AD carry champion pool.
I'm surprised to see Tristana ban.
They need to save the Ezreal. The Tristana should be banned as well. And then you have
Aphelios.
You have Aphelios and you've got Tristana, which is still on this table, which works more than fine with this combination. You need something that can dash forward and follow up, so that limits your options of like the real S-tier AD carries you can lock in alongside that, but still, you're probably looking at Dusty locking an AD carry on 4th and then still having blind pick for 5th. I mean, I like what they've locked in so far. They still have heavy dive, and there isn't a great amount of disengage on the other team.
Kaisa. If Tristana gets banned away here, because the previous bans from Vanir were the Kaisa alongside the Xayah, so this could very well be Venza going for the Kaisa. And she's traditionally an Ezreal counter as well.
Because actually when Kaisa was on her release patch, it was like, oh, she's quite low range, she can't deal with a lot of stuff. Yeah, but if you tag a W onto something like, even like a Caitlyn or an Ezreal, you dash in, you kill them. And particularly with Kaisa's power right now, with the ability to change builds between AP and AD, both are fine in this composition actually. When you've got AP locked in, you can still go towards Nutrition
Look at the
ID,
dive. Look at the dive in the
heavy
back
dive.
line.
And the best thing for the side of Dusty right now is that, I mean, you might have shields on the other side, but where is your ability to actually pure disengage? There isn't a lot.
I'll tell you where. You put the Kama top lane with Grasp, you lock in yourself a Tam Kench. You roam the map with Tam Kench, that Ezreal never gets touched the entire time. Okay, blind picking a Camille can be very dangerous. If Alif has a Fiora in his bag, with how all lanes have been playing so far, it's going to be very dangerous.
But the thing about the Camille is, though, it goes into what you were asking, saying, forget about bot lane, let's go somewhere else. So you can just say, let's play around the Camille.
Yep.
Camille, what the heck is happening on the canister?
They're dancing.
They are definitely dancing. But when you have the ability to play through Camille and play through Noodle as well, going onto his favorite champion of the Jinzao, that is very distracting, guys.
You know what, though?
It's what you've asked for them.
When Noodles Zinzao goes in B5, untouched at all, we're talking about one of the best early game ganking junglers in our entire league that gets his champion after 5 bans of the champion not being touched. You know that Noodle has not made a difference in the entire series. Now it's his time to prove that he can make a difference. We have Kevon on Ezreal once again, Sahira on his rise. They need to be the difference makers.
This is a beautiful reply, though. Now you can
Two ninjas
roam
in one
as
team?
well. Yes, 2 Shans.
Yeah.
2 Shans.
Oh, one is Akali.
But we are going to have the submarine either way. We're going to have the ability to go just hit Shen on top of a diving Kaiser, on top of a diving Akali. Even someone like the Rel isn't bad. And just put them on anyone, get them into the backline.
Just press R, man.
I mean, this screams really heavy dive, and there isn't a great ability to deal with that on the other side.
The mentality is in favor of Dusty so far. They know they can just dive. They're comfortable. They have 2 games leading into this last one, possible last one. I don't know. It is time to defend for your lives, to fight for them, or Dusty to move on deeper into the playoffs. They're really comfortable so far. So, Hiprain and Jamada, what's going to happen?
I think we're going to see a lot of tower diving. That's what I think. I looked at that Dusty comp and went, wow, Shen, Volibear, Rel, Kaiser, Akali. That is 5 champions who don't mind tower diving. You can turn those towers off with the Volibear. The Shen comes in, submarine style.
Yep.
Like, Dusty have shown us through this series that they are super crisp at tower diving. And now they've just drafted even more dive than before.
Yeah, I think you nailed all of the analysis points, actually.
Sorry, mate, doing your job for you.
No, it's all right. No, yeah, I do worry for Vanir in the sense of Dusty have been executing these tower dives so well throughout the series so far. And now that...
That is a duck, not a chicken.
It's a duck, not a chicken production. Get it right. And his name is Michael. I can't remember what the Hapgood brothers were calling him. Something to do with Destroyer of Worlds, Eater of Universe.
Yeah, something like that. I was about to combine duck and chicken, and then I realized either way, that's bad. I can't say that on air, so I'm just gonna... Twitch chat, you can spam it. I don't get in trouble for that.
Yeah, I'll let that one stand over you. As a Vanir, okay, so a little bit of adaptation. So Dusty, game 1 and 2, they're going for these sort of over the objective pit plays. Ooh. Now the issue is, they've gone for something different. Vanir have stacked because there's a ward that they've got on top of Venza Barkland and FGG, and this is going to be a face check!
Action's coming, they're jumping in, FGG flashes away, but Ignite is ticking down.
Way.
Noodle's looking for him, one last auto, the heal from Venza, FGG is down! First blood to Sahira.
Okay, but what got blown for that? That's the important thing to track, because, okay, Sahira now is going to be able to base and get a tier, which is actually going to be, well, it shouldn't really impact his lane that much anyway. He would have had priority to begin with, but now he's stacking it early. He's got a slightly bigger mana pool to work with, and that's definitely a bigger deal. But Sahira blew Flash, and so did Kevo.
Yeah.
Kevo blew Flash less than 2 minutes into game 2. What happened to Kevo in game 2, Jake?
Kevo, well, same thing that happened to him in game 1. He died a lot.
Yeah, so let's see if there's a repeat there. Now, this time, of course, Kevo on a slightly safer champion in terms of dealing with ganks inside the Ezreal. And we'll have a Calm to shield him. And of course, being able to dash away from the likes of
Shields don't mean much when Rel can just go and turn him off.
That's also a really good point. So,
that's what makes this a bit of an interesting pick is Kevo forced to heal just to get the movement.
Oh, but now FGG can't remount.
But FGG in a lot of trouble. Remember, he burned both
Dead.
some of the spells. Quick Zephyr secured the kill. Venza is just going to have to give up so much priority in this lane as Quickstep's going to continue to trade onto him, and Venza now has to be so careful. Gets his Hail of Blades back, but there is just an onslaught of damage landing into him.
And Dusty, spoken about them as a bit of a confidence team. How they feel. Kevo not going to be able to find any more damage. Actually missed XP unlike Quickstep somehow, a level down. Maybe when they walked forward, something like that, walked backwards on the trade, hard to say. But Dusty, I think, showing that maybe their mentality is truly just aggression right now. With that dive in from FGG, trying to find Kevo with no flash. It makes sense, but once you miss, that happens.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that early flash onto FGG, then a bit of an optimistic jump in onto Sahira. Just because he didn't have flash didn't mean that Rel isn't a champion that can be punished if she misses her abilities. She's super slow. She's very slow. I think she's got the slowest movement speed in the game, right? Dismounted.
Dismounted. Kled might want to have a word with you. Demounted.
Yes. Anyone with a pony.
Anyone with a pony.
Because they're lazy. They don't use their legs much. FGG is a hex flash forward. Kevo does have shift though, so I think this is now way harder to punish him. They are trying to wait it out. There's the shift. That's it. He's dead. Bye-bye, Kevo. Nice knowing your friend. Venza gets the kill.
All right. Good punish and all right. Like we said, Viking, what did he do in game 2? When there was no flash on Kevo, he ganked bot lane. What's he done in game 3? Now that there's no flash on Kevo, he's ganked bot lane. And now Noodle, full clear all the way up to the top side. Alif doesn't have the wave in the best position, and Nile is going to hold it here for a little while. Certainly going to be uncomfortable here.
Securing the freeze, although he's missing a couple of minions.
But still, job accomplished.
Oh.
And actually, I think cancelled recall from Noodle. Really waiting his time here. And if Alif shows Envision, which he has, maybe he cancels again. But no, just going to go back. Feels like he'd be wasting too much time. And obviously, the key worry for Vanir moving into game 3, not only are they 0-2 down, naturally, but it's the way that the bot lanes have gone for the last 2 games. I think despite the regank that's just happened,
that was sad.
Probably still a little more comfortable than a game 1 and 2 already. But for me, it's just about sort of that level 6 point onwards.
Yeah.
Right? In the next sort of like 4-ish minutes, give or take, when, you know, Stand United comes online, Bo5 might be able to chase Sahira down the river, etc. Dusty have been so clean on these tower dives. I am still worried for Vanir.
Oh my word.
That's a lot of damage. And I mean, this is like kind of the... I mean, it's the classic champion for Sahira, if you remember last year.
Oh, nearly. Ooh. Does need to be a little bit careful here. If Elif lands the taunt, which he does.
Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, nearly. Yep. Hook shot will not save you today. Viking gets his 2nd kill.
And that's just greedy.
That was very greedy.
There's just nothing else to say about it. Viking, you have to expect at this time where he's going to be top lane because he showed bot on the gank 2 minutes previous.
Vanir did keep their streak of 100% first dragons in this series, though.
Yeah, they do. And granted, Vanir actually aren't in flat gold down at the moment, which is better than what they can say for the first 2 games.
Yeah, let's have a look at where that gold is, shall we? Okay, 80 carries equal. This is the first time. Well, difference, by the way, we were given it in the break.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to Namira. 10,000 between them over the last 2 games, between Kevo and Venza. So that's a pretty large lead, considering the games have totaled about 40 minutes.
Yeah, they're going for the G2 TL record.
They really are. What is that again?
Off the top of my head, it's about 70 minutes.
I mean,
there's room for it to happen.
There is room. But
I think though that's international tournaments. I'm not sure if that's
I don't know
domestic.
if we count. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll find out the total game time. That's what I'll do.
Yeah, sure. Also, I think that was a finals. I'm not too sure. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe Dusty can make this game 3 a quick 3-0 for the series tie-up. But for now, not setting the same pace that was set in game 1 or 2. And I think some of that can be said mostly because, you know, a lot of these champions want to wait till level 6 till they get a little more aggressive after those sort of early pre-5-minute plays. And Vanir's champions, they're all safer in most of these lanes too. You know, Sahira is always going to have priority and first move and the ability to control the wave. Kevo, Quickstep, very, very safe. Hook shot as well on Nile means when he's not stepping forward to do whatever he was doing in the top lane previous, he is typically very safe. So we'll see as Noodle's got this invade going, and actually it's just a red buff trade on both ends here between the two junglers. Albeit Viking is actually significantly up in XP. Going to be over half on the way to level 7, whilst Noodle, that red buff, didn't even tick him over to level 6 himself.
Viking's now 6. Viking can now tower dive.
Oh boy.
Venza did just eat a empowered inner flame, but I don't think this is going to do too much. They just do the old switcheroo. Kevin thinks he's safe, and now Elif has actually tanked in, forced a flash out from Kevo as well.
Yeah.
And the crisp, clean tower diving that we have come to expect from Dusty continues into this game.
And much worse, what's happening with the top lane wave? Because I think they're not even really going to miss anything for this Elif. He'll get back to a majority of this wave as well. And because of the time of the play, Vanir don't even get themselves the Rift Herald. FGG will have his base stopped, so nice from Kevo to at least get that down. But yeah, what? It's going to be the melees, maybe 2 ranged creeps at worst in terms of XP. Elif can walk away happy with this dive. Sure, the Camille will get the plate, and finally the Herald will be started up.
It's going to be Vanir, so they're definitely being more proactive.
Sure.
Right now. I'll give them that. Elif actually looking for Nilly. He's got a nice trade with the taunt. Vikings coming in. In comes the Realm Warp as well. Nilly needs to land this hook shot. Looks to turn it around. They interrupt it. But Nilly's just going to die. Elif with a balmy Sind able to find the kill. But now Noodle jumping in. Here's the Void Seeker. Venza can jump forward if he needs. Quicksef secures the kill. Now Quicksef needs to run away as Venza is hunting him down.
I still think it's a bit of a nightmare scenario for Vanir, to be honest with you. Nile dies 1v1.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately they got the Herald, but Sahira having his Realm Warp interrupted, I'm not actually too sure how either. Maybe the replay will reveal to us what happened.
He didn't go in it.
He just walked.
Sahira!
Sahira! I mean, I'm not sure it would have made much of a difference to the outcome on the top side, but...
Yeah, maybe. These are the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. By the way, just so you know, the total combined time of our 2 games is 46 minutes.
Oh.
By the way, FGG is jumping onto Quicksef, looking to speed this up as Quicksef jumped in. Venza able to chase him down and find himself a rampage kill. Half health in Kevo as well.
What a series this Dusty bot lane are having, and an immediate replay as well. Level on the Hex Flash channel.
That is so sad.
Ings over to level 6. I mean, my only assumption is calculated, so well played. Venza and FGG between you. And apparently safety just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In the bottom lane isolated 2v2 at all.
Well, this is the thing, is... Do you remember when Ezreal was more meta and Kai'Sa was typically picked as a champion into Ezreal?
Yep.
Yeah, this is why.
Yeah, I know that.
You just chase him down with a killer instinct.
Just doesn't feel balanced, does it?
Well, I think it feels balanced. Though.
Well, it feels
this
balanced,
is the rock,
but-
paper, scissors nature of League of Legends.
I'm glad you can play rock, paper, scissors. Actually, I know that because I lost you.
Yes, you did. I lost the trouble, although she cheated. Anyway, Elif's getting jumped onto. Rune Prison's in. That is one dead Elif. So Vanir do find themselves a cheeky kill. And Sahira has the Rift Herald. So they're actually looking for something, although Backland has got no... Well, they're actually FGG's in their pocket.
FGG's finally here now, but I think it's going to be too late. So finally, a little bit of proactivity.
I like
out
this
of
from
Vanir.
Vanir.
It only took 57 minutes of game time. But here we go.
They are relevant.
Sorry. Rather, I think that's actually that's an unfair statement. What I should say is successful proactivity.
Yes.
From Vanir.
They're actually
they
heading
have
goal.
tried to be proactive. So they get this tower. It will be traded out across the map for this dragon.
Yeah. Continuing the stat of Vanir take the first one, Dusty take the second one.
I think actually Vanir had Dragon 1 and 2 in game 2.
Oh, no.
I think you'll find.
You sure?
Yeah, relatively confident in that.
Also, Hera's going to try and keep that one going then.
Oh, no smite on Viking.
Yeah, they don't have the smite, so it is going to get secured. FGG securing it. Venza slides forwards. Oh, my word. You can't do it to them. They have families, FGG.
And,
oh, no, Kevo.
Kevo is now potentially the next victim.
He's going to do a lot of damage to Venza, but...
okay, that's a lot of damage done to Kevo, FGG.
FGG?
He's all right.
One more? No, he's all right.
And FGG stands for something. Can't say the first part of the name, but I can say God Gary is what FGG stands for, and he's playing like one at the moment throughout this series. Absolutely phenomenal from the bottom side of Dusty. And they will, at the very least, deny away the potential of a very early soul pickup from Vanir. As yet, no smite from either jungler. And it just comes down to the crash down, gravity well.
Oh, it's
crash
the
down.
Magnet Storm, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Magnet Storm. But either way, it doesn't matter to Vanir, as they're the ones that lost the dragon and they lose 2 kills. And did Kevo just come back from base?
Kevo's just had the most sad series I've ever seen an AD carry have in a best of.
Yeah, this is reminiscent. This is a bit of a weird call out. This was, I think, NLC 4. I can't remember what team it was, but it was Jack Spectra.
Oh,
All right, I'll hold it.
Gonna get himself caught out. Has got himself the shield, but that's not gonna work versus Zahira. And Nilly able to pick up the kill. Vanir definitely being more proactive. I'll give it to them on here. Bot lane is still a problem, but at least they're being proactive elsewhere. And I'm glad that Trouble hit on Zahira on the Rise, because this is his signature pick.
Yeah, right. The Rise and the Victor. If you think back to his Granite split, it was almost a bit of a meme. If you came up against Granite, you had to ban Victor and Rise. Otherwise, you would just have Zahira on a super comfortable champion, which he could 1v9 on. And right now, I think one thing that could potentially be an issue, albeit with the amount of mobility available to many of the Dusty champions, it may not be, is if Vanir start to lean more into side laning whilst these objectives aren't up, right? The Dragon, etc. Barkland, gonna eat a fair amount of poke. But if they lean into the 1v1, I think it's definitely a strength that they could utilize out of their composition, especially as Nile eventually will become very difficult to deal with. And Barkland really is going to be the only person that could potentially stand up to him 1v1. FGG looking for an angle here, but I think the mobility of the Vanir champion should be able to get them out of danger.
Kevin doing a fair amount of damage with those true shot barrages into FGG.
Yeah, so I will say, right, Dusty's composition is very one-dimensional. It just wants to kill things. It wants to move forward and dive.
Forward the comp.
Forward the comp. Like, if this is a movie and you had a film poster of what you wanted from a dive composition, you had a couple of options. This would be a pretty decent 5 to have on the poster, I would say. For Vanir, they can leverage, like I was just saying, the split push. Nile, I think, eventually won't really be able to be contested on a side lane. But also, the range can start to become a factor, because Dusty's actual operational ranges when it comes to the engage is relatively short when you think about it. It's only FGG's crash down plus a flash. They have to find the chase down, and speaking of chase down,
it's a perfectly executed lockdown onto Noodle. He gets the heal off the Gore Trigger, flashes away. Zahira's overloading and unloading the damage onto these two members. Able to dodge out as Vendor gets him. Venza is able to get him.
It's vending out death.
He is vending out Void Seekers.
That's all right.
Oh, Magnet Storm jumping in. Venza with the perfect execution. Kevo is popped. Zahira has no backup. Actually, Lily comes in. The overloads are going to do so much work here. Venza, and they got nothing. They're losing everyone. A double kill's been picked up. It's going to get traded back. In comes the backup from Dusty. Backland hits the E. Zahira just needs a little bit more damage, and he might be able to make this work, but Backland might
the Shuriken
go
flip.
for it. The Shuriken flip goes wide. Now he has to Protobelt as Zahira's chasing him down. Zahira has no flash, but he's cutting him off. He's chasing him down. They're spotting him out as Elif is in the area.
Back away,
Zahira can see him though. Backline jumps in, flips on. Zahira misses the kill. Elif with the kill. The true shot is flashed away. Noodle, can he make this work? Can he find revenge for the team? He has to land the E. Gets it onto Elif. Is he gonna follow? I don't think he will. Dusty. It's probably the least clean dive we've seen from them, but they still walk away the victors.
It's still criminal though, isn't it? At the end of the day, to be able to walk out with that many members alive in a dive like that. But I think, crucially, in comparison to Game 1 and Game 2, the goal difference isn't as big. This is a playable position now for Vanir. We might be able to actually get to see them play the game, as Noodle, I think, got sniped by, Void Seeker on the bottom end of the team fight there. And then FGG and Venza, without the backup of Barkland and Viking, just say, we can probably make this dive work. Stand United comes in as well, and that's definitely a help. But Nile, with that hook shot, finds all 3 members, able to clean up FGG with the tactical sweep as well. It's really well executed by Nile on the return kills, but Dusty, a bit of an overchase after that into the choke. You saw all of the damage unloaded by Zahira, and if this Shuriken flip lands, I don't know. I don't think he'd really have the damage anyway. But it's the overchase that comes after that as
Backland? Nili's just got him locked, and he's going to use the Shroud. Totally executes
Oh,
out.
God.
The Shuriken Flame.
Oh, no!
Back up! FGG! That was absolutely flawless. Nili, they're trying to dodge away and everything. The hook shot's not going to come up, and Viking will maul him for the kill.
I think Vanir had it right in game 1 when they removed away Rel from FGG, to be honest with you. And this Herald is also going to get the charges to the mid lane tower. So Vanir, they will find that at the very least. But it just doesn't feel like it's going to open up the map. And speaking of opening up the map,
Oh, Kevo.
Oh, Viking. Never mind, doesn't matter.
Kevo. That is the saddest AD carry alive.
And I think I can finally make my callback now, because I remember Jack Spectra, all the way back in NLC fall 2020, was getting absolutely manhandled in the bottom lane. Wasn't his fault. He was just getting 3-man dive, 4-man dive every single couple of waves. Reminiscent of that from Dusty. I think Dusty were in the game. In fact, I think Jack Spectra was on Dusty. Anyway, it's a very weird callback.
Oh, yeah,
it's just something that I got reminded of because of how heavily Kevo is just not being allowed to play League of Legends this series.
This has to be a game where an AD carry, you just need the strongest mental in the world.
You really do.
To be able to survive this.
You know when they say to play League of Legends solo queue, you do need like strong mental. This is, I mean, it's competitive play, but you're getting a bit of a case study as to why you might need a strong mentality to grind through some of these games. Speaking of the game, Nile, he does have a Ravenous Hydra now, so on the side lane, he is going to be a bit of a nuisance to deal with. This is a very strong Camille. So, again,
it's a very strong Camille. Got the shutdown onto Venza.
Yeah.
2 items. It's going to be a split pushing Menace. And I think the kind of key thing to take away from this game so far is Vanir look way more competitive.
Yes.
They are still down in gold, but they have been up in gold.
The issue is they need to look a little more than competitive because their backs are against the wall. They're already 2 games down.
Yes.
So they're going to have to start finding something soon because Dusty, at the moment, I will say, they're the ones with all the agency to do what they want on the map right now, and that's why I was seeing so many towers go down.
FGG started it again. Kevo, a 5th time, shall he fall?
Rampage.
Kevo literally can't step near anything without
He's
dying.
playing Ezreal, and that's the worst part about it. The safety net just doesn't matter. It just doesn't exist. I mean, it's mostly just credit to Dusty and how willing they are to dive so deep underneath these towers and make them look so clean.
I think if Vanir pull a miracle out the hat and make this go to a game number 4, we need to see the Rel ban. We need to see the Volibear ban, because these 2 champions combined has been so oppressive from the side of Dusty.
It's been more than oppressive, to be honest with you. Is there a word above oppressive? I'm not too sure, but we'll see what Vanir can do to come back from this hole. I mean, again, it's not as bad as the previous 2 games, but there's just a feel about the game. I think when you see Venza with 3 items, and
I think it's just the mentality that Dusty have right now, right? They got 2 games up very, very convincingly. They know they're ahead in this game. You don't even have to do simple maths. You can see the gold lead, you can see the tower lead, you can see the objective lead. Dusty are very confidently ahead right now. They've secured Baron 20 minutes into this game, and we could be looking at a very monstrously quick series as Elif being spotted out by Nili. Nili is just waiting out the Shroud, is going to be able to make his way out, has a lot of sustain, so he's okay to take that trade and just walk away. But Elif still has that ultimate available, and I think that's the scary thing, is he doesn't need to be in a side lane. Nili has to either perfectly interrupt him.
Elif just has to stand there and make sure that Nile doesn't really get anything achieved. They're going to try and find some kind of flank off of Nile's hookshot here onto somebody, but it's just not coming together. And now Dusty, if they want, they can turn, to be honest with you.
Oh my word, Venza, the mad lad, has done it. Noodle flashes away, but Viking will chase him down. In with the ultimate, the dunk comes in. The true shot barrage, FGG with a 3-man Magnet Storm as Backlund secures yet another kill. Sahira will fall next, and it's gonna be even more. Backlund flashes over the wall. Kevo going oh so low. The heal will save him for now, but the Shuriken flip will secure his death. Backlund stopwatches the tower shot, and Quicksef is the only one standing. This is Dusty showing up with yet another dive, with yet another aggressive play. The calculation from this team this series has been flawless. They've got Baron, they've got 5 members, and they've got the death timers in their favor. Quicksef and Noodle are gonna have to pull off a miracle to save this game. Tower number 1 goes down. Tower number 2 will be quick to follow as Noodle gets run down, chased down, Shuriken flipped onto, and taken out one more time as Nilly falls. Venza just padding the KDA. They do find a kill onto Elif, and Vanir are gonna find themselves the flank. They're teleporting in. It's do or die. This is moment for Sahira. Can he make the miracle happen for his team? He's got the flank, he's got the overload, he's got the damage, he's got the true shot barrage to back him up, and FGD able to dodge out, able to stun up and buy time for the team. The Honey Fruit's gonna slow everyone down. Backlund is gonna chase it. They're going for the bounties, they're going for the kill, but this is gonna be Sahira losing his life as Venza's able to find the kill. A perfectly executed ultimate from Backlund. The flash from Quicksef. Backlund will chase him down. Everybody falls. It's only Noodle standing.
I don't think they can end though, Jake. Unfortunately, the death timers, they're a little bit too staggered. But Dusty already fangs primed to make this a 3-0. And one exceptional performance they put on for us. Venza dives in, has the attract repel stun. It's Viking that finishes it off with the ultimate. And then from there, the dive is as easy as you like. Gravity Well comes in from FGG. And the follow-up always going to be clean. Sahira goes down to Alif. And Backlund really playing on the limits of this Akali this game.
Just landing every Shuriken flip. He does one later, the stopwatch saving his life. Backlund has played amazing. I think we've done a massive amount of shout-outs to Viking and FGG because these two combined have been a driving factor for Dusty. But Backlund, 2 games in a row, has taken this Akali into the Rise and quite happily piloted it and really made it work. So honestly, while this whole team has been on form, there's been a couple of members who've really stood out to me here, and Backlund is one of those guys. And it looks like this might just be it. Dusty pushing up, waiting for this wave. The teleports are coming in, and
the Vikings
joining up. Backlund's looking for it. Vikings going to jump in. They get the taunt off, and now the true shot will cut through everyone. Backlund's low HP, but the Nexus has been exposed. FGG is jumping in with the Magnet Storm as Venza is unloading. He's got himself a double kill, make it a triple kill. Kevo might just be falling next. It's another double picked up. It's the ace, and just like that, Dusty 3-0 Vanir.
Everyone at home, here on the analyst desk as well, we just thought 3-2. Either way, not sure what way it would go. We thought it would be a very close series. Dusty don't care about expectations, very clearly.
Shattered them. I mean, like, people did predict Dusty. People did predict Vanir. But, you know, even for the Dusty supporters, I think that shattered expectations. I didn't actually get the time at the end of that game, but we are looking at, I think it's 68 minutes, 69 minutes for a series.
Close.
That was just over an hour for all 3 games. That was absolutely flawless from Dusty.
Absolutely. And obviously, I think naturally, like, commiserations to Vanir. It's tough to come out into a series where, obviously, 1, you're probably expecting to win anyway, but 2, come out and then get, I'm just going to say it, smashed. In 3 games like that. It does feel bad, but you showed a very, very strong showing throughout the regular split. And I think you can be happy that you got here.
Yeah.
Dusty just came out and played a better game today, and it is as simple as that.
Dusty are clearly not very rusty. If whoever's playing them next, they really need to think about
Riddle.
Riddle. So Riddle really need to think about the Volibear, the Rel, that tower, that diving. This team are, I'm confident to say they are the best tower diving team we've got in the league right now. They were just so on point with that. Absolutely beautiful stuff from Dusty. But for us here at the caster desk, this isn't the analyst desk, this is the caster desk. We are done. We're going to throw it to a break. And when we are back, we're back with the analyst to break that down. Jamada, it's been a pleasure, buddy.
And welcome back to the post show. I did not expect this so soon, but here we are after the clean sweep coming in from Dusty. Aggressiveness in the early game, non-stop, and they secured 3 games in a row. Obviously, I'm together with Trouble and Nymera.
Wait. So we had a start at the start. It was 90-something% if the winning in the early game.
91.5, yeah.
That percentage just went up after the series, no?
Percentage are beautiful.
I mean, like I said, I like standout stats. I don't like regular stats.
Well,
They don't tell you
came
anything.
true. Whatever he told you came true.
The first time I brought in stats, they work. 100% win rate with
Okay, you
my
get to do
stats.
all this. I'm not going to do any more stats now. If you hear a stat on broadcast, it's him.
Well, at least you know they'll be good. Now, with that in mind, let's jump into the interview for today. We have Zen, Dusty coach, for the interview after the clean sweep of 3-0. I mean, you got to be smiling today.
Yeah, we're all very, very happy about today. It was an amazing performance.
Okay, we have a lot to digest and talk about, Zen. Obviously, we had a big conversation about this series and the way you guys were going to play. But did you expect this amount of savagery coming in from Dusty?
Well, I mean, we were going into the series quite confident. Obviously, we had, we were aware that, for example, the Riddle versus Excel series, right? It went quite poorly for them, even though they went in thinking that, it's probably going to be a victory. So we were a little bit held back by that, right? If we take it too easy, if we think, oh, this is just going to be a free win, then it's really easy to lose, right? So we went in respecting Vanir. We went in playing to our hearts out. We did really extensive preparation for them, and it paid off in the end.
At the beginning of the game, you got invaded, well, Viking got invaded instantly with the flash over the Baron pit, and it seemed like it hindered a little bit of the Viking clear jungle at the beginning of the first game. But it seemed like the bot lane was a big, big difference, a big gap at the bot lane. Was this something that you told your players, okay, we're going to work for the bot lane, the way you played the Caitlyn Lux again, that actually brought in results for the second game between Dusty and Vanir during the regular split? It worked out as well at the first game of the day. Were you planning on playing for the bot lane, or was this like a straight-up gap?
I mean, I think it was a little bit of both. I think our bot lane had a fantastic performance today. I think that they were definitely the standouts. But right, everybody on the team still had to do a lot to get their bot lane there, right? Viking Anton had a fantastic game, right? His pathing was really good. Whenever he got invaded, he bounced right back. He was really smart in tracking the enemy jungler. So he created a lot of that space for bot lane. Obviously, our bot lane 2v2 gap the enemy bot lane as well, right? Like our bot lane played amazingly. The 2v2 skill gap was really out of this world this game. But then on the other hand, right, we also had Alif in the top lane who soaked a lot of early game jungle pressure from the enemy team, mid game jungle pressure for the enemy team that allowed our bot lane to play a little bit more relaxed. Likewise, for example, maybe we didn't give the champions to Backlund where he could, at least in the early game, showcase what he can do, but he still played really well in the mid game, soaked that pressure early, and then came back bouncing. So I think that everybody today really played incredibly well.
Okay, but kind of bring the picture out again. Obviously, everyone played fantastically well, as you were saying, but where do you now rate this bot lane, actually, in particular? If you're going to go focus it down to these two people and you say, okay, these two guys played so well today, where do you rate them against the rest of the remaining NLC bracket? And how good do you feel going forward into that bracket as a team?
Well, if I'm honest, right, if my bot lane is feeling confident, right, if Vanir and FGG are on their game, they're feeling relaxed, they're feeling like they can take on anyone, then I think they're the best bot lane in NLC.
That's what I wanted to hear.
By far.
By far.
Okay.
Yes,
we have forgiven in the NLC.
By far, I do think that they have very few off days. If you catch them on an off day, then I think it gets close. But I think if they're feeling it, then it's not even close.
All right, since your bot lane then is by far the best in the NLC,
I love the history
I'm
of
going
that
to
card,
raise
by the
you
way.
another card. I think Buckland and Viking have been progressing and developing in the entire league. Like, they literally went 0 to 100 really quickly together as a duo. Now, I raise you my my Riddle card right here, because slow queue was also really low when we were rating them at the very beginning. And I think the slow queue MC show versus Excel was also pretty huge. How do you see these two clashing together, obviously, on the next game incoming? And thank you for also putting us on the same.
Well, I do think that Riddle obviously surprised everyone taking down Excel, right, including us. And MC played really, really well. He's definitely a big confidence player, and in that series he was playing with a lot of confidence, and it paid out for them. Also, I think maybe on a different day, Excel could have also turned it around. Maybe it was a bit of an unfortunate day, but definitely Riddle showed up really, really big on that day. Showed everybody that they can win even against the best teams in the league. And so we definitely going into their series, mid lane 2v2, not sure how much of it is going to be a factor. I think that it depends kind of a little bit on the draft, depends a little bit on how the players are feeling that day. But I do think more so than it was a mid lane plus jungle show for Riddle, I think it was just the Bimbo show. I mean, sorry, the MC show. I think he was the big driving force behind the win.
All right, MC versus Viking, bring it.
Let's see what's going to happen. Zen, obviously, thank you for another interview. Obviously, we have to sit down and talk again before the next show, Riddle versus Dusty. It's going to be a lovely one, and congratulations. Go celebrate. It was a massive victory, and Dusty are really, really, really well in this bracket. So thank you so much.
Thank you again, and thank you to all the fans that follow Dusty. Bye.
Yeah.
Can I just say again, you know, obviously we talked about like driving forces, MC being the driving force of Riddle, and obviously FTG turned out to absolutely play today. Just a quick reminder again, we said a lot throughout this split as well, but for those who are only tuning in for playoffs or just for this show, FGG at the start of last split was in like amateur, below amateur. He was in the UKEL qualifiers at the start of last split, like tier 4 or 5 or whatever it ends up being at. Jumps up to NLC in the middle of that split. You know, does a fine job, but, you know, it's their first split in the NLC. They come in now and they're smashing, cracking heads in the playoffs. What an absolute glow-up this player has been alongside the rest of the team, which is standing up to meet him.
He's
Also,
part of the best
take his
bot lane.
statement and make it even better. He's talking about FTG. He mentioned the jungle. I just want to mention pure jungle. I feel like both of these series that we have watched, yes, the bot lane diff was pretty huge, but I think it's been a pretty big jungle gap as well. Like, think MC versus Dan. I felt like Dan was pretty invisible on the map, and MC had taken over pretty much like all 3 games that they won. Even like the first one that they lost, he had already taken over from there. This one, I feel Viking did not fall short. He got invaded. He got his camps taken from him.
He adapted on the
He
fly
was
really
so
well.
quick
Yeah.
into exactly adapting and figuring out different paths and routes that he wants to work around. I feel like jungle is such a crucial part of every single team that you cannot allow yourself to fall short even on one game.
Junglers in NLC are really, really aggressive, and it shows in the end the result that aggressiveness brings. And with this in mind, let's see the results for today and what we're going to have.
Don't. I lost my prediction.
Avert
Everybody
your eyes if
loves
you're
the
of an
prediction.
easily disturbed nature.
There we go. So Dusty getting the 3-0 versus Vanir means that they will face off each other with Riddle on the second round of the losers bracket. Now, next game, it is Bifrost versus X7. None of these over Katarina, so predictions are
They're safe. They're safe.
They're safe.
It's gonna go hopefully to 5 games. We're safe here.
Like, I would just say, like, I mean, if you'd asked me to like do a crayon drawing of a playoff graphic while I was like not really thinking about things, maybe it would have ended up closer to this than I was actually if I'd actually thought about the graphic. Like, this is so out there from all of what I would have predicted, and it's great to see that we have these teams that can step up and challenge our expectations. But like, it's not good for my heart.
I love it. And NLC is just stepping up. I mean, every ERL should be afraid of NLC. I'm warning you. Now, for the prices play of the day by MasterCard, let's see what they prepared for this. Like the play that
If it's not FGG on Red, I don't want it.
it has to be. It has to be. Production, show us the prices play of the day. It is FGG, but a messy play nonetheless.
You know what? I think these are the plays that are so cool to watch because even though, yes, they're messy, you see the confidence. They don't leave. They stick around. They know they can outplay this. And oh, Sahira, bless your poor soul, man. Bless your poor soul.
Now, there's something which we like to say. It's called a hand check. You just check if the enemy players have just have their hands on the keyboard, and sometimes they do. And Backlund had like, he was like playing with 2 pairs of arms. He had.
To be honest, I felt like Backlund played this game with one hand. It looked that easy. I'm sorry, but it looked that freaking easy.
I gotta say, he stepped up as well. We're getting a lot of step up in playoffs. We talked about that previously. Best of 1 means a lot, obviously, during the regular split. But when you jump into that best of 5, it's quite different. The mentality, the adaptation throughout the series. And this is exactly what we're seeing from junglers and mid laners as well.
All of that. I mean, when you come into the best of 5, you start questioning some of the players that haven't shown that much in best of 1s. I was particularly worried about, for the side of Dusty, FGG. Of course I was, because I was sat there thinking, well, his Rels look really good. Oh, he's had an okay Leona, you know, that's been good too. But where does this really end? And is this going to be deep enough for a full best of 5? Now, we didn't see his champion pool fully pushed. I'm wondering what will happen in the next
There were
round.
other problems on the map.
This is the thing. There are other problems out there. And the question is, if you come up against a team that is on form, firing on all cylinders, and if Riddle turns out to play and you fully ban out this player, I wonder what happens when Dusty don't have this absolute mega superstar performance out of the support that played so well today. However, we did see it not just be the Rel today. It was the Rel plus a couple of other things too. If that actually goes deeper in a best of 5 setting, that's terrifying.
So
I'm excited. I'm excited to watch them versus Riddle because if Riddle come fired up as they were versus Excel, I think this series is going to be extremely insane to watch. Like, I mean, MC versus Viking, I think
that's
it's
gonna
yeah, I
be crazy.
cannot.
But before that, we do have the first seed versus the second one. This Saturday, Bifrost versus X7. Get ready to rumble. That is going to be beautiful.
You
and
must
with
stick
that,
it.
we're going to wrap up the day. But don't go anywhere because we have a post-show in Riddle stream where they're going to debate what happened today and how they're feeling facing off versus Dusty. So I'll see you this Saturday for another game of playoffs. It is X7 versus Bifrost. I'll see you soon.